Hello and welcome to my presentation. My name is Santschi. I'm working as project coordinator for the research project Bilder der Schweiz Online, Images of Switzerland at SARI, the Swiss Art Research Infrastructure in Zurich. In this presentation, I am going to introduce the project and explain how we work and what we work on. First, an overview. Our project has started at the beginning of 2020 and will run until the end of 2022, so for 2 more years from this moment onwards. The project lead is Professor Tristan Wedigen, and the leads of the part Project 1 and 2 are Thomas Hansley and Michael Mattil, respectively. Our partners are the Central Library in Zurich and the Swiss National Library. We receive images and metadata from them and consult them in the data modeling process. We are also working with the collection of the Stiftung Familie Villmann, who is also the generous funding body of our project. And of course, we are also present on the web. You can find us on bilderderschweiz.online. The focus of our project are Bilder der Schweiz, images of, from, or about Switzerland. Specifically, the objects we work with are prints, drawings, and later also photos created between the 18th and mid-20th century that contain temporal and geographic dimensions, which means that they show how Switzerland and its depiction changed over time. The prints and drawings in particular have been created between the mid-18th and mid-19th century by the so-called Schweizer Kleinmeister, the minor masters of Switzerland. The production process of the prints is hereby interesting for us, as those masters tended to visit actual locations within Switzerland, create sketches there, bring them to workshops where they were etched and printed, and distributed them either via publishing houses or self-publication. Several of these images can be bundled into voyage pittoresque, which means they represent views along a designated route through Switzerland. Overall, these images seem to have shaped the modern view of Switzerland in the European environment. These are some randomly selected examples of works in the collections we work with. So, what does our project do with these images? We have 3 main goals for the research platform that we are currently developing. Firstly, we want to visualize not just the images, but also the metadata that comes with them, and the links that connects these pieces of information. And we want to do this in an engaging way. Secondly, this visualization will be targeted not only towards researchers who will use the digital platform to enrich data that is already available, but also a more general public that wants to explore visual Switzerland in an engaging way. And thirdly, and this is something SARI has subscribed itself to, we conduct our work according to principles that ensure long-term access to the network of information created by the project. The project is divided into 2 partial projects. Part Project 1 at SARI is concerned with the linking of data. It is where conceptual models are made, a knowledge graph of semantically connected data is created, and a platform and image display and annotation features are developed and implemented. This is of course done in close collaboration with the partial Project 2, where workflows are created based on research questions, where we develop the processes for how we get to know from what we want to get to know. In part Project 2, we are also discovering which areas would be interesting to enrich with additional data. For example, the annotation of images or viewpoints with geo-coordinates, or the social networks between publishers, artists, works, and places. Some further details on our 2 focus areas in research. I already mentioned our interest in the places connected to objects. In this case, we are not only interested in the places depicted on a work of art, but also from where this picture had been created. So in essence, where the artist or the sketcher sat when he looked at a landscape to create his sketch. By annotating the viewpoints together with the depicted place, we aim to identify patterns in from where certain areas have been depicted. When we widen our focus to include the people connected to certain places, we are also interested in the connections between a depicted place, the viewpoints, and the social context of where and when the prints have been produced, such as place-bound artists, publisher networks. By using geo-coordinates, we hope to explore social, infrastructural, geographical contexts visible at and changing over time. We are currently researching most effective ways to annotate geo-coordinates using open access tools. An early idea is to use the Swiss topo annotation feature in a combination between 2D and 3D visualizations of the map to approximate the viewpoint where the artist could have stood at or sat at. In these two views of the Devil's Bridge, we can see that although the same motif is depicted, the viewpoint changes from the right side of the creek here to the left side of the creek in this picture. Besides, as time has passed, a second bridge had been built. In a test run, I tried to indicate the spots from where the image could have been drawn and extracted the geo-coordinates for this position. This is all work in progress right now, so please do check in later with us for updates. Finally, when working with linked data, there are obvious research questions that you can try to answer with data directly. And then there are research questions where analysis of linked data is not the ultimate answer, but a building block in the process of answering a wider research question. By seeing how Switzerland had been depicted over time, we do hope to gain information that contributes to discovering trends in the style of depiction, for example. Those findings can then again be interpreted from a more interdisciplinarily, for example, in the context of what a dramaturgization of viewpoints had happened during a specific area or during a specific time period. Essentially, we hope that research on the topographical entity of Switzerland, its depiction, and the continuous transformation over time, both on the level of topography and of the image, that this will shine a light on how Switzerland and its depiction had changed over time. Thank you very much for your attention. If you want to stay tuned with us, which we hope for, you can reach us via the following channels over to Twitter, the web in general, by YouTube, or you can also ask me anytime questions via my university email account. Thank you very much.